Good morning, everybody. Calendar week 22. Double carbons. I may have made a mistake. Although I number these newsletters sequentially, starting at 1 every new year and finishing up somewhere reasonably close to 52 by the end of it, and although it does come out at more or less the same time every week, as you might expect from such a numbering system, it is very seldom episodic. I don't have the data at my fingertips, but I strongly suspect that I promise an update to a thing rather more than I often actually supply one. This is neither bloody-mindedness nor subscription bait, rather a side effect of a brain which does not hold particularly tightly onto useful things. In a surprising and unusual continuation from last week, when I mentioned a biogas digester, I'm happy to report that I did indeed buy a thing, and I bought it from China. I've never used Alibaba before. It was very exciting, and I'm definitely going to give you the whole rundown of the reasons and the experience. But before I can get to that, I had to mow the grass. That was almost all I did this week. It is possible that I sowed some stuff as well. I seem to remember putting soybeans and lettuces in the ground, but I can't really recall if there was anything else. The lawnmower had been broken for a few days, as mentioned previously, and we mostly repaired it last week. This week I made a little spare part thing, and the rain stopped and the grass dried out, and everywhere where there is grass needed mowing. I put my phone in my pocket to count a week-long adventure's worth of steps, and the rest of the time it sat on my desk, or under the bed, or behind a kiln a jar of dried apple rings. You know what phones are like. But for all the times I was taking steps behind a lawnmower, it was counting them, and for the rest of the time it was not. Every step counted this week was in the service of giving the grass a haircut. I did the orchard, Nutopia, and around the pumpkin field, the area in front of the loft, the area behind the loft, all of the front sections all around the potager, and about half of the Sportplatz. I did not do the stage, the herb garden, or the path beyond the pigs, but I did do around the vineyard. Total steps, 64,791. The area not done might well tip it over 100k. I guess we will find out in the next couple of days. I filled an average of 2 big bags, 1 cubic metre a day, with grass clippings. I've never weighed one of these. They definitely weigh more than I do. The pigs got a lot of grass snacks this week, all of which may one day be a significant part of New Adventures in Biogas. Last year, maybe the year before, I started trying to make my own biogas digester from spare parts and things lying around, pirate style. That project got quite a long way, but stalled at the how do you store the gas part of the playbook. The standard do-it-for-free solution is to invert one metal barrel inside another one and have the gas displace the water which otherwise occupies the space between them. This requires 2 metal barrels, which fit reasonably snugly inside of each other. My manifesting got me one, but I'm still waiting for the universe to send me the second. In very small gas production systems, or ones where the gas is used up almost immediately, many people store the gas in a car or truck wheel in a tube. Otherwise, the solution is to buy a fairly expensive large rubber bladder, made especially for gas storage. Looking into things, I found that for the price of a large rubber bladder bought in Europe and almost certainly made in China, you could buy a complete system with all of the pipes and joints and dongles and dooblies from the aforementioned factory of the world. So I got in touch with the absolutely lovely and remarkably indulgent good folks of the Shenzhen Puxin Technology Company Limited, and eventually we settled on the Puxin Portable Assembly Biogas System 2.65 meters cubed, to be shipped by sea. Ocean freight is, as you might expect, both much cheaper and much, much slower than by air freight. And seeing as Puxin and I are both all over the environmental end of things, we easily decided to go for the 55 days on a boat option. Except this conversation happened just before Chinese New Year, so that would slow everything down by another 2 to 4 weeks. Mr. Vane of the Shenzhen Puxin Technology Company Limited and I wrote a lot of emails. In the final exchange, just before I transferred the money, he informed me that although the 2.65 meters cubed model weighed 28 kilos, there is a minimum shipping weight of 50 kilos, so I should not be surprised when I see a weight and a corresponding charge for 50 kilos of shipping. It was the constant supply of little moments of clarity and honesty like this that made the whole transaction extremely easy and pleasurable. But it also gave me an idea. They also produce a 6.5 cubic metre version of the digester, although it is not on the website. Offhand and all casual like, I asked how much this weighed. The answer, 49 kilos. Or in other words, the cost of the system would be a little bit more, the capacity would be 3 times greater, and the shipping would be the same. So I asked Mr. Vane to make me a new invoice and to ship the bigger version. Now about that problem I mentioned right up at the top of this newsletter. Problem 1 is finding a place for it. It is rather large. Setting it up and getting it going. Problem 2 is keeping it going. What I really didn't consider was just how much vegetable matter this behemoth consumes to produce all that lovely clean gas for cooking and heating and making water hot. When it gets going, there will be enough gas to operate a single ring gas hob for 8 to 12 hours per day. This thing is a monster, and it has a monster appetite. According to the documentation, which came in Brazilian Portuguese, the only hiccup on the otherwise flawless shopping experience, para manter uma produção constante de gas. No, I'm not doing that. Google Translate assures me this means to maintain a constant gas output approximately 30 days after the biogas plant has begun producing biogas. Normally, you must regularly add raw fermentation materials to the plant. Specifically, this entails adding about 50 kilograms of organic waste per day, yielding a maximum biogas production of 3.6 cubic meters per day, sufficient for approximately 8 hours of cooking. 50 kilos per day? Oh my life. I have to feed this thing with the body weight of an Olympic flyweight boxer 7 days a week. This little consideration did not occur to me, not even a little bit, when I had the genius idea to buy an industrial-sized damn solution. I am moron. I do have a plan though, and it is a good plan. Let me get this thing assembled and almost working, and I'll update you again. For now, all that grass that gets mown up, at least we know what to do with that. And so I shall go and start my day, and I wish you all a very happy and lovely and productive week. And as always, do be excellent to each other. Much pirate love, your loving Pirate Ben. XO. XO.